Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Seconds until minions spawn.
Always my destiny.
Minions have spawned.
My son, I will always watch over you. No time for hesitance atop the food chain. Run or hide. It makes no difference. I will catch you. Greatness cannot be taught, only seized. There is thrill in the chase. If only grandfather could see me now. Does not tolerate disobedience, nor will I. I'll crush you!
Ally has been slain.
Good try. You almost left a scratch.
An enemy has been slain.
Even in death, I indulge in mortal delights. My next match will be a spectacle indeed. Silence before the strike. Fear sweetens the hunt. steady hands secure the kill. Not all who are chosen are worthy.
That all you got?
Price of legacy is steep. My family still devours it. Even here.
Killing spree. You have slain an enemy.
Life beyond death is everything I imagined. To the child I was unable to protect, I would have given you the world.
An enemy has been slain.
Every advantage. Give no reason.
Killing spree.
They are spared, but not for long. The hunt is eternal. I'm just as good at hunting bargains. Do not oppose me! The other chosen warriors cower before my strength. As they should.
Rampage.
Every life pays for this.
In all your
An
might!
ally has been slain.
This strength was always my destiny. Every hunch
Welcome back. Welcome back. Cool, cool, cool.
Only the worthy should possess such weapons.
Ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Unstoppable.
I wear these scars with pride.
I get mine.
Okay, so we're on page 10 now.
Enemy has been slain.
Let me just take a quick speed read just to make sure we didn't miss anything that we care about. All good, all good. All my fancy markups, all good. All right, it's all perfect. Oh, perfecto. So now this is going to be the boring section, but we'll get through it pretty easily. This is going to be like the different, just a selection of codes that we would be in violation for. All right, so improper use of equipment. So inspector would come in and they would write up certain summonses based on certain sections. Right, so section 24-168. Use of proper fuel in the fuel burning equipment. So we already noticed, we kind of said before that you have to burn the fuel that you have a permit for. You can't burn different fuel. And that's going to mean more to you once we learn about the fuels. But we're going to talk a little bit about it here. It says, no person shall cause or permit the use of any kind or grade of fuel which is not designated to burn. So if your permit on the wall says that you're going to burn number 6 fuel, then you have to burn number 6. You can't put in another number of fuel. Even though it's cleaner, better, hotter, not hotter, none of that matters. You have to match your permit. So also under the same section, -168, no person shall cause or permit of burning refuge materials in an oil burner. So what does that mean? This is what it means. So let's say I have a building and I have an oil burner burning type 6 fuel, and I have an incinerator burning garbage. All of a sudden I run out of fuel. Can I put garbage in my oil burner because I ran out of fuel?
No.
That's what that means. So it's all common sense. It's just a little awkward with the wording that they use here. So it's a matter of unraveling and understanding it. So in reference to A above, if the boiler is designated for number 6, 2, or 4, whatever, you have to burn that. So that's just reiterating it. Okay. And -155 requires maintenance of equipment and the apparatus. So the owner of the equipment and apparatus shall maintain that such equipment needs to be maintained and run in good working form. So that becomes very general, right? Because if you did get a ticket for anything, then you're going to get a second ticket for lack of maintenance. And the argument is going to be, well, if it was well maintained, I wouldn't be here. It's kind of like, remember in the old days when I was your age, you went through a red light, you got a red light ticket. A red light ticket used to be 2 points, and then, on your license. Now, if you go through a red light ticket, the points probably be higher than 2 points now. But let's just say it's still 2 points. What else is going to happen? He's going to write you up for other things. Reckless driving, and probably throw a few more things on there, right? So that's what this is all about. It's about doing the best you can to keep them out of the building, so this way you don't end up in a bigger situation. -156 prohibits the use of equipment without using control apparatuses. Right? It requires use of control fitted in the equipment. States that the equipment shall be fitted with apparatuses designed to use different types of fuels and etc. So this all has to do with like the safety stuff that we said about. you know, what we call the watchman. The watchman is something that's watching the smoke density, and we're going to learn about that pushing forward. That if the smoke is too dark, it shuts off the boiler in 2 minutes, or it shuts it off immediately. It all depends upon the density. So that's the apparatus. So if he's going to write you up for black smoke, he's also going to write you up for 155. You're not maintaining it, and then 156 that your shut off wasn't working because it wasn't maintained. Then 159 requires a fire department certified person to operate the equipment. So that is, and I'll write it here. This is your P99 certificate of fitness. So that's your FDNY. If you're running type 6 fuel, then you need to have somebody with that license in the building all times that the boiler is actually in operation. So that's kind of what that means. All right. So now remember, there's 2 licenses we're talking about. So that particular one is a COF, Certificate of Fitness. Now we're going to jump to the next one. Hang on. I'm just switching pages here on my other screen.
Can I have a question?
Yep, good.
I mean, the P99, I mean, can we take it after this class?
You can take it after this class. You can actually take it before the class. There's no
Okay.
school prerequisite for the P99. You can go
Okay.
in and take the P99 if you know the material and you can pass the test.
Okay.
Now, with this class, you're going to get a DEP, Department of Environmental Protection, Air Pollution Control license after this class once you satisfy all the requirements.
Okay.
But you're not going to get a P99. A P99, you have to go in to the fire department and take the test yourself.
Yeah.
And what I mentioned the first day is a lot of the students decide to take the P99 after this class and then after they take heating 1 and heating 2. That's
Okay.
kind of what that's about.
Okay.
Right? But some people just take it right from this class. Okay, so getting back here now on page 10. Any operator residual fuel equipment used for burning equipment must have a certificate of instruction upon successful completion and of a course within 6 months of employment from the Department of Environmental Protection. So this is 2 things here. All right, the fire department one is the P99. So that's the one here, fire department, that you have to take on your own. And now we're talking about Department of Environmental Protection, which is what we're talking about here, DEP. And this is what you're going to be getting after this class, after you pass it. Now, I've done this before. They're saying that you can get hired without it, with the understanding that you're going to get it within 6 months of employment, your certifications. And I've hired people that I liked, and I explained to them, you have 6 months. I will support you. I will let you take classes. I'll do everything you have to do. You have to go and pass those tests. But if they don't pass it in the 6 months, then their employment has to be terminated. Right? So it's a 6-month probation. So I work really hard to make them succeed because there's nothing worse than having to have to let somebody go because they didn't get the certification. I mean, that's just not fair. And also, just so that we all know, even though we're in a union, there is nothing 32BJ can do if you are hired with the understanding that you're going to get certified within the time period. And if you don't get certified, the union can't negotiate for you. They can't change your mind. I mean, this is all government stuff, right? All based on licenses. Okay, so then dash 161 requires the operation and supervision of fuel operated refuge burning equipment by a trained person. So this is an extension to what this one is. So if you're in violation of one, you're going to be in violation of the other. This one is talking about certificate of inspection or instruction. And this is within 6 months. So this is Department of Environmental Protection. Okay, so that all falls under the same thing. 146 Apple. A, preventing particulate matter from becoming airborne. So what does that mean? This is what it means. There's the building. There's your chimney. There's your smoke. Not a big deal. You just want to minimize the smoke. Now all of a sudden you get chunks of fly ash floating around that's on fire. That's where the problem is, right? You don't want to have particulate matter flying out of your chimney, especially ones that's on fire, because they can land on other buildings, cause fires. They could float into windows of other buildings, so it's just bad. All right. So the handling, the moving, the storage of particulate matter must be done in a way that you're not going to allow anything to be airborne. 165, use of air contaminant detectors. So this is what we were talking about before. A smoke alarm must be installed on all oil burners to create a loud signal and a red flashing light when smoke densities reach equivalent reading of 1 or higher on the standard smoke chart or ring limit chart. So that's just an alarm. That's the audio. We're not even talking about all the equipment that's going to do a shutoff yet, right? That's on 165. So let me see. On 165, it's just ringing, but we're talking about a loud noise, and we're also talking about a flashing light. Why do you think they require a sound and a visual?
In order to work.
In case one or the other goes out.
One or
You
the
have a
other goes
backup?
out. Yeah.
You have a
I also
backup?
heard in the background.
People with disabilities.
People with disabilities. Okay, that's part of it too. What happens though if you don't have a disability? You're working in a boiler room. All of a sudden, something real bad happens and something explodes. Poof! Now you can't hear. Now you're deaf. And now the room is starting to fill up with smoke, but you don't see it because it's on the side of the room. You don't see it. The light is flashing, so you might lose your hearing because of an explosion, and what we call an acute loss of hearing, temporary loss of hearing, or vice versa. You might have something might have flashed, and you lost your sight, but now you hear the alarm ringing, and you know I got to get out of this room. I can't see where I'm going. You feel your way out. So that's why with safety, we always want to have sound and light, right? Both. So, yeah, it's not just about disabilities. It's about heat in a moment. 9/11, there was a lot of loud things going on that day. People were stunned and blind temporarily, and, you know, we lost hearing temporarily with stuff. So it was all good. On dash 166, use of compression shutoff. So that was what we lacked, right? 165 was all about visual and audio alarms. Now we're talking about automatic shutdown. A combustion shutoff must be installed on boilers to shut off the burner in 2 minutes if the smoke density of number 1 on the standard smoke chart is to the evident. All right. Now what are we missing? Right here. Number 169. Sulfur content. The sulfur content of fuels have been restricted to 0.3%. 0.3%, right? And this goes back to October of 1971 for equipment using 5 and 6 fuel, or even 4 fuel. And then when we're using type 2 fuel, you can go to 0.2%, which is a little bit less sulfur. So let me ask, this is saying that if you